guess let's get this show on the road. Just the healer and the other shaman are already there, so I'm just heading to BlackRock. Well, let's listen to this. You're done with Twitch, are you? Oh, is YouTube going to become the better streaming platform?
I have not spent 72 fucking hours off of this goddamn platform making content. Blizzard fucks barbarians. Like, I'm not even talking about one nerf. It was like 7. Then I wake up early. I didn't even want to wake up. It was like some fucking type of, what's the word for it? Like some kind of crazy, like telekinesis, telepathy, like remote viewing, crazy magic shit that I woke up at the exact moment that Twitch decided to kill their own website. I'm losing my fucking mind. And I'm laying in bed getting mad. Like, you guys ever read Twitter in bed and get mad about it? Well, that was me. I just got done doing that. So it's a sixth sense, it's clairvoyance. Yes, I can't believe this. And so I wake up and I read this fucking bullshit. And I want to talk about it, and I want to talk about the implications of it. Because a lot of people aren't seeing the bigger picture. And we're about to take a look at the whole thing. Twitch has new branded content guidelines, so that means any sort of sponsored stream. And I want to dispel the illusion.
So this only affects people who are somebody on Twitch. If you're nobody, this doesn't affect you then.
That Twitch is doing this for the viewer. Twitch is doing this so they can maintain
I think it's like the
monopoly.
This sounds like, yeah, this is Skyrim music, but it's music that's like in the background of Asmongold's
So what they're
video.
doing is they're removing things like, take a look at this, burned in display ads. Do you know why they're trying to remove this? It's so they can do it themselves and monopolize the profits at over 50% from the content creator. So if you think that, oh, it's because Twitch wants us to have a better experience, get the fuck out of here. Go back to fairy tale land with rainbows and unicorns. Absolutely fucking not. They're doing this. They're making things that are completely innocuous. Like, oh, we all agree that, let's see, what's some of the things that they shouldn't advertise? Oh, I don't know. Guns, maybe. You know, a lot of people are from the U.S., so that's not a problem for them. You know, like scams. Oh, let's see, like ICOs, get rich. They literally say that they don't want you to advertise get-rich-quick schemes. Well, by the way, I'm sorry to say, but Twitch is a get-rich-quick scheme too, so get the fuck out of here. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about everything else. Drug treatment centers. Yeah, you don't want anybody to seek treatment for overdose. Absolutely not. And this is what I find to be the cutest thing out of them all, is alcohol. What is the fucking logic in not allowing political content or cannabis, that's weed, pot related content, but you allow alcohol? In no fucking universe is cannabis more dangerous or more deadly than alcohol. And I am so fucking sick. I never smoke weed and I never drink alcohol, by the way. I don't do any of these things, so this has no point of personal gain for me. Smoking weed, people can do that and it's totally fucking fine. It doesn't hurt them. But alcohol kills millions of people. It ruins lives. It causes drunk drivers. Well, to be honest, drunk drivers cause drunk drivers. There are many alcohol enjoyers that enjoy it responsibly. I saw that on a commercial, and it's completely fine.
I saw that on a commercial.
What? There are a lot more that don't. I think alcohol is a poison, and I think the entire world would be better off if nobody drank it ever.
Well, I'm an alcoholic, and I definitely agree with him.
But I'm not going to make a
I haven't had a drink though in a couple days.
And you know what else? I wouldn't make a rule against cannabis either. And you know what's so
Smoke
fucking
weed
disgusting?
every day.
Because you can easily say that the reason why they're doing this is to be compliant with legal reasons, right? Of course. But what about political content? What about drug treatment centers? What the fuck are we talking about here? In what universe is promoting a political idea that a person believes in In what universe is that more corrosive than alcohol? And before you say that, oh, what if it's a Nazi? There's already a thing about hateful products and services. Let's not bring in the extremes to talk about an obvious reality. This is insane. Rip Hassan. Hassan's not taking sponsorships for politics. He does it for free, okay? So this is not Rip Hassan. Think about this for more than 5 minutes. So anyway, it's not helping anybody.
That's what Hassan mainly talks about.
This is why
politics.
I had to go live, because I see people saying, haha, Rip Hassan. No, it's not. It's not going to do anything to him. He's a fucking multi-millionaire living in a $3 million. You guys hear about that? Yeah, I think everybody has by now. Living in a $3 million socialist mansion, which, by the way, I completely support. And they think that they're going to get it. Oh, we got Hassan. No, you didn't. This has nothing to do with him.
You.
I'm losing my fucking mind. It's not going to affect him at all. So anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself, and I'm probably going to do that for the majority of this. Let's talk about what happened. Less than an hour, actually it's 2 hours ago. You know, it's a little bit ago. Twitch came out with a update to their branded content guidelines, and they made massive rulings about what you can and can't do sponsored streams for, and different types of ways that you can do a sponsored stream that will be no longer allowed on Twitch starting on July 1st. This is not effective immediately. It's starting on July 1st. Music's loud. I'm going to turn it down just a tad bit, okay? Anyway, so let's go ahead and let's talk about what some of these rules are. This is the actual. We're going to look actually at the.
Wait, if I get
itself,
yeah, I'm the one for SGC unless this guy's an enhanced Shaman.
Branded content will enable automated.
Kind of looks like it though with his mana.
And stream archives shown below. It says includes paid promotion. This is something that's.
He's got low health
YouTube.
and low
now,
mana.
let's
I don't know.
talk
I
about
can't tell.
What's okay about this and what's not. So
Must
these
have
are the
shitty
things
gear.
that you're allowed to do. You're allowed to have branded panels. You're allowed to showcase products in the background. You're allowed to have links to sites that promote other things. You can discuss and unbox products, and you can play sponsored games. These are, so you can only have a logo on your stream that is
3%.
less than 3% of the screen size. Now, I wonder, so what happens if like somebody at Twitch is using a monitor resolution that's different than the streamer's monitor resolution? Like, let's say they're using a 600 by 800, or they're on mobile, so it has a different ratio. And then does the streamer get banned because it's 4% on their screen and 3% on the streamers? Like, what happens here? So it's just such an insane thing. It doesn't matter what the fuck. It doesn't matter, exactly. The idea that it should only be allowed to 3% removes autonomy from content creators, and it allows Twitch to once again monopolize the space of monetizing their platform on Twitch.
I hope there's no alliance there.
I really want to say,
Kind of want to keep this Dragon Slayer.
Please find me the tweet of, in response to people's concerns of the of Twitch making these advertising and these monetization updates. This was maybe like 6 months ago, of the person who was like the product manager at Twitch talking about how this wouldn't affect personal existing streams, because I wanted to find that. Pretty important, and your voice is powerful. Go live on Asmongold. Neither of that matters. What matters is the YouTube video. The streams are transient. They're over, and nobody cares about them after they're over. What matters is the YouTube video. Who gives a fuck about the stream? And I already tweeted about this, etc. Why shouldn't they get money? It's their platform. Well, it's simple, because there's other platforms that don't try to steal money in that way from content creators anyway. That's the reason why. And it's also, I think that they're already making money in a lot of different ways. So why would you stream on a platform that tries to encroach on your own content and take things away from you and make things, by the way, this is what's so crazy about this, is that burned in video ads.
Well, this guy has a Thunder Fury. He should destroy any alliance.
Not insert video ads directly into their streams. So that means, do you remember that sponsorship that I did with Dungeons and Dragons? Theoretically, I wouldn't have been able to do that. because that video, I was showing it for a sponsorship. And the problem that I have with this is that there's actually no logical reason for why this is problematic, that content creators can't do this. And I actually want to talk about the reason why Twitch is doing this. The reason why Twitch is doing this is because they're trying to create their own product placement platform and their own product placement catalog, similar to how bounties are and things like that. And what they're doing is that they're making competing types of advertisements against the rules, so Twitch can have a complete monopoly over the way that people monetize platform on their website in a way that they've never had before. Yeah, they want to take a cut out of all the ads. And this is also, keep in mind, this is right off the heels of them going from 70% for streamers down to 50. So they're saying, hey, we're going to cut your revenue. We're going to give you 20% less money. And it's 20% out of 100, but to be honest, you know, what's 20% out of 50? That's a lot, right? That is a huge amount. That, like, if you took a pay cut like that at your job, I bet you'd probably start looking for another job. And, you know, people are like, oh, you can still make sponsorship money,
Fuck this guy.
right? And now you can't even do that without Twitch trying to get their hand in the cookie jar. And that's really what's going on.
I got you back, homie.
Amazon top executives. Well, I don't really know where it's coming from.
I could probably
really matter.
spell that.
And so anyway, the point that I'm making with this is that this is not being done in the interest of the viewer. Because if it was being done in the interest of the viewer, maybe
you
would say it's the
yeah.
screen, it's the size of the logo, etc. And also, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to take anything that Twitch does in terms of advertising as it being in good faith of the best, what's best for the viewer whenever they allow streamers and they even incentivize streamers to run 3 minutes of ads at a time over their own live broadcasts. This is insane. And so, yeah, they do not care about the viewer experience. They care about making the ways that they want to monetize the platform literally against the rules for people to do on their own, so they can make all of the money and take a larger cut away from the streamers. And so let's talk about the other ones. Insert burned in display ads. Streamers may not display or have banner ads directly into their streams. So what that means right here is that you're not able to have a banner on your screen. Now, is there a reason why you're not able to have a banner on your screen? Absolutely not. There's no logical reason why this is problematic. And how many of you guys, if you've looked at Twitch on like maybe your phone, or you've looked at it on maybe like your PC, you've seen these ads by Twitch? How many of you guys have seen these exact types of ads by Twitch?
Our healer's gotta go.
Yes, many people have seen this. And so I want to re-emphasize, they are only doing this so they can cut into more of creators' money and they can take control more of what creators are doing. Yeah, there's a huge problem with them. Twitch doesn't get a 50% cut. Exactly, that's what it is. There's definitely a good reason they sell ad space and have streamers burn ads, compete with their ad sales. Well, there it is. And if they want to sell ad space and they want to do that, that sounds fine. But the truth is that there's platforms like YouTube, Rumble, and Kick that don't do that. And at a certain point, whenever you can't monetize your own platform, you're losing
I have no ideas where these guys are.
Close to 40% of your money from these ads. Sorry, that Twitch just
we're gonna need a healer anyways,
a 40% pay cut if you're taking 70-30 from Twitch. And then they also say, well, we're going to take this money from your branded deals as well. Why would you not be moving over to Rumble or Kick or another platform? There is literally no reason. Esports broadcasts are filled with sponsors and have ads in between matches. With this change, they might not even happen on Twitch anymore. It doesn't matter. And I want to make sure you guys understand this, that I'm going to be totally fine no matter what happens. Because I will always adapt and change what I do based off of what the rules are. Listen, that's just how it is. Don't worry about me. Everybody, all my friends, we're totally going to be fine. I will always find a way to take advantage of and cheat the system in my own best interest. This will be no different. However, a lot of other people will not, and Twitch is just going to be taking more of their money for no reason. The problem is that the experience for streamers, you know, especially small streamers, is not as important as the experience for the viewer. And the truth is that giving a streamer the autonomy to decide how large this banner is a decision the streamer makes in regards to their own community. They decide the size of this banner, and the community either accepts it or does not accept it. I think that there have been sponsorships probably you guys have seen before that, you know, the streamer has done, and people are like, hey, that's too sellout-y, you know, I don't really like that, it was too on the nose, so maybe try to dial it back a little bit more next time, and they do. Well, now Twitch takes that opportunity and that trust that the content creators built with their audience away from them, and now Twitch's ads are bigger than any streamer's ads.
I'm gonna wait for this guy to get full
Fuck, they replace the whole stream sometimes.
Okay.
So here's another one here. Streamers may not insert audio ads directly into their streams. So there we go. You're not able to insert an audio ad into your stream. Why is that? So now they're controlling the audio that you have on your stream. Make-A-Wish Foundation is banned. Theoretically, I could not do my sponsored... Actually, that's a very good point. So over the years, I have raised over $1 million. And whenever I say I
for
mean
St. Jude's.
We have raised over $1 million for Games for Love. And this is basically like no, I was gonna say agency, but it's a company that what they do is it's pretty simple. They just give, you know, PCs and like fucking like video game systems to kids in hospitals, right? And we've raised over $1 million for them, just on my stream. Not to mention other people on the platform. And based off of Twitch's rules, that type of a sponsorship and that type of a deal would no longer be allowed on the platform, even if it's charity. That's right. We raised almost $400,000 for Ukraine whenever the Ukraine war started last year. Under these rules, I would get banned for that. Under these rules, I would get banned for raising money to give kids in hospitals a video game system. That's right. How dare you? That's where we're at. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Prohibited branded content categories. We do not allow promotion of products and services. I think that all of this kind of stuff is pretty much fine. Everybody pretty much agrees on this. And I think this has already been the case. You know,
Christ.
they don't want to sell,
go right up
so
there,
you can't advertise KKK outfits, probably not buying drugs, you can't do gambling. Well, you can do gambling, and I want to make this extremely clear. You can advertise gambling on Twitch, you just can't advertise certain websites that are not based in the US on Twitch, like Stake. Twitch did not ban gambling, and slots is still a popular category on the platform. So just keep that in mind, because gambling was not banned. Unauthorized sharing of private information, of course this makes sense, spam, and additionally, we do not allow the following products or services. Weapons, so okay, adult-oriented products like pornography. So does that mean, like, for example, Patreon? How many of you guys know of a girl that does something on Patreon that's not art? Well, it is art, but it's not that kind of art. Yeah, does that mean no OnlyFans? Well, you already can't do that. But it's like, you know, for example, Cutie Cinderella had a Fansly advertisement during the Streamer Awards. And this was, by the way, an event that was sanctioned and promoted by Twitch. Like, I understand, like, for example, if Twitch wants to ban, you know, any sort of website like that, that's fine.
I'd rather not risk
losing Dragon Slayer. You know, a pornography website, that's what Fansly is. If they want to ban that, that's totally okay. I don't mind that because you have a primarily
I guess
young
I could
audience.
clear out these ads
But
actually
if you have such
for
a
our way
primarily
back.
young audience, I wonder
Or
what
this
kills
right here.
more people here. Do you think, let's go ahead and let's do a tier list of what kills the most people. Watching a political advertisement, smoking weed, or drinking alcohol. I wonder which one is the worst. How many deaths a year does alcohol cause? So I just like to look at this right here and show you right now. It's estimated that more than 140,000 people, approximately 97,000 men, die from alcohol-related causes annually, making alcohol the fourth leading preventable cause of death in the United States. This is only in the United States, by the way, behind tobacco, poor diet, and physical inactivity and illegal drugs. So yeah, alcohol is still okay if you mark it as mature, but political content isn't okay in any context. So according to Twitch, political debate is more harmful to you than alcohol. Isn't that incredible? And by the way, I know some people are, you know, like you're not a fan of Hassan's politics. This is only for sponsored political stuff. So Hassan isn't going to be able, it's like he can do whatever he wants because he's not getting paid for it. It has nothing to do, this isn't going to affect him at all. It won't do anything to him. Burned in refers to pre-recorded ads or commercials that are embedded directly into the stream. Twitch streamers are not allowed to include promotions, sponsorships, or other advertisements for third-party sponsors or advertisers in their streams if Twitch offers a comparable ad format. And I actually never read this until right now. This line right here tells you everything that you need to know. Because what they're doing is they are making competing with Twitch against the rules. That's what they're doing. They're saying, you cannot compete with Twitch on our advertising. We want complete control over it, and you cannot monetize your platform in a way that we can monetize your platforms. Because we want to get our hands in your pocket and make money off of you. Does YouTube do this? No. Does Rumble do this? No. Does Kick do this? Absolutely not. There was a post about multi-streaming. Oh yeah, here you go. I just want to read this. Simulcasting. When you are streaming live on Twitch services, you may not simultaneously live stream or broadcast simulcast on any other Twitch-like service, meaning any web-based network platform or service that supports live streaming of user-generated content.
I mean, that's already been a rule. Once you're like an affiliate.
For clarity, you may
I guess that's for everyone now.
Mobile-first services that support live streaming. This section does not apply to non-profit or government entities. Yes, of course. And so what they're saying is that, yeah, Rip Ninja. So they're making simulcasting and streaming on multiple platforms against the rules for everybody. Because previously it used to only be against the rules for partners and I think also affiliates. So you had a lot of people who weren't taking affiliate or partner because they didn't want to have to exclusively stream on Twitch. And Twitch saw that, and so the way they solved that problem is that they just made it to where everybody can't do it. So let's keep in mind this also applies to tournaments. Any sort of tournament that you could do on Twitch is now non-existent. You can't make money off of the tournaments anymore because like they're also simulcasted on YouTube and also Twitch. They also won't be able to monetize their tournaments at all because they can't use these branded deals that allow the tournaments to exist. As somebody who's set up multiple events, many events, this is something that will completely destroy any sort of event that Twitch ever wanted to have. Twitch will continue to add super rules because streamers like you are married to the platform. What's your opinion on switching to YouTube? Great question. I think that if this deal goes through, obviously they have until July 1st to start enforcing it. I will actively start looking for a non-exclusive deal on another platform. And I will pursue streaming on another platform. I'm not going to just completely quit Twitch. I don't think that's the right thing to do for the viewers. At least not right off the rip. but I will start actively looking for another platform to stream on, because it doesn't matter. The reason why I can make more money on another platform, my like awareness, the people that know about me, like my discoverability, maybe I might get a lower viewer count over there, but I got over 50 million views on YouTube last month. What the fuck do you think I care about if I'm getting 8 or 10,000 viewers? I think every single other person who's a streamer should do the exact same thing I am. There is no reason for Twitch to do this other than to monetize, monopolize, and take advantage of smaller streamers. And keep in mind, this is all streamers. This is fucking somebody like me over, and it's fucking over the 300 viewer Andy that you watch for your own niche game at night. This is fucking everybody over in a way that does not need to happen. So yes, I will move to another platform. Non-exclusively, I will still stream on Twitch occasionally. If this goes through, I will actively start pursuing a deal.
Sure. And then Charlie has something to say about this.
The title is not clickbait. There was a new policy on Twitch that was announced today that will legitimately destroy the platform, with the majority of streamers choosing to go elsewhere if it goes into effect. Now, this was announced like 3 or 4 hours ago, but I decided to wait a little bit to see what Twitch would respond with, because the backlash has been considerable. Everyone is rightfully furious about this, and I just kind of wanted to let it all simmer, let Twitch kind of marinate in this witch's cauldron here and see how they would respond to all of it. So I went and played basketball, which is why I'm very sweaty right now, and I've just got home, and it turns out they did respond. I expected them to respond with something like, "Our sincerest apologies. Earlier this afternoon, we were coming down with a severe case of big fucking idiot disease. Turns out one of our employees replaced our water with plutonium and stupid juice, so we had radioactive brain rot when we came up with this idea. We're scrapping it. We're sorry." That's what I expected. But they went in a different direction. They went with a very pathetic attempt to save face and backpedal. So we're just going to go over this whole situation from top to bottom here. It was revealed today that Twitch has put sponsored content and branded content in their crosshairs to try and fucking slap. So formats permitted with the new guidelines on branded content on Twitch are logos on stream. So branded overlays are limited to 3% of screen size at most. So any branded overlays can only be 3% of screen size. That means, like, if you have a G Fuel sponsorship or something, you can only have, like, G Fuel in the 3% of your screen area. You can no longer have burned-in video ads, meaning you can't play, like, your own ads during it or ads of another brand that's working with you. You also can't have display ads, so, like, banner ads, which is a big one because a lot of sponsored game streams require banner ads, which completely removes that, which is a huge hit to most streamers. We'll get into the specifics in a moment. And then you can't have audio ads played during streams. Now they clarify what is allowed, which is branded panels on the channel page, or showcasing products in the stream background, or links to other sites that promote things, discussing, endorsing, or unboxing products, and playing sponsored games. The last one's a little silly, considering that when you play sponsored games, part of that package almost always includes at least one of the things that is now forbidden with the new policy changes they're toying around with. Now all of these are huge changes. A lot of streamers have talked about this. I've talked about this.
Oh god, I am scared for my life.
Generates is through sponsorships, whether it's sponsored game deals for like X amount of hours streaming a game, or just ancillary partnerships with other brands that you will promote during your stream. That's where the majority of streamers' revenue comes from. Like almost all of the top 500 streamers, that is their biggest driver of revenue. Subs and donations are a small part compared to sponsorships. So Twitch targeting that is like the only decision they could make that legitimately would drive all of their top 500 streamers elsewhere if they can no longer pursue partnerships comfortably on the platform. This is a platform destroying moment. This is up there with Tumblr banning porn, or that day that OnlyFans decided they were going to ban porn. It is a completely, it's Armageddon for the platform. This would sink Twitch, without exaggeration. let's talk about some more specific examples. Tournaments, video game tournaments, or even just any general events could no longer function on Twitch because for those tournaments to exist, they have sponsors. And as part of those sponsorship packages, the events, like a Smash event or a Valorant event, are obligated to play those sponsored ads during the event, which has now entered Santa Claus's naughty list here on Twitch. It's illegal. You're going to the fucking slammer, you're going to jail if you play a sponsored ad during your stream from these policy changes. So let's take, for example, Valorant. Valorant has an eBay deal. So during intermission in between games and Valorant broadcasts, they play eBay ads. Not anymore. Not anymore, Buster. You can't do that shit yet, you outlaw. Listen here, Bubba. No more of that shit. Now, there's something very interesting to note here is that YouTube actually has a similar policy that a lot of people are bringing up to compare the two right now. But Twitch's enforcement and the way that they spoke about it seems very different than the enforcement of YouTube. And from everything I've read, YouTube doesn't really enforce this policy even at all to begin with. It's just kind of there as a blanket in case things get exploited or misused. But either way, there is something comparable on YouTube, but not nearly as egregious or as frightening as what Twitch is proposing. Now, when this policy change first got announced, we immediately tried reaching out to as many people as possible for some clarity, because the way that it reads seems like it's going to have a massively detrimental impact on our esports org, Moist Esports, thanks to the way we do our watch parties. And from all the information we've gathered, it seems like we're in some fucking hot water there, which is not good. Opera GX sponsors our esports team. And as part of that sponsorship deal, during our watch parties when we're cheering on our teams, we play our own custom Opera GX ads that we made ourselves with green screen, like where I'm a pirate or a fisherman, those kind of really goofy over-the-top ads, we play those. But now that whole concept is more forbidden than human transmutation in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. We can't do that anymore, which is a huge hit to our esports org, since Opera GX pays us under the expectation that we're also going to be doing those ads during our watch parties, which we can't do anymore. We also have a banner ad for Opera GX during the watch parties, which we can't use anymore. So the main two things Opera GX is sponsoring our esports org for is been banished to the fucking Shadow Realm. So what are they paying us for if we're to continue doing watch parties on Twitch? And it's entirely out of our control. It's not like we're choosing not to fulfill our obligations with Opera GX. Twitch just wouldn't allow us to, or else my channel would get banned on Twitch for doing so, I imagine. Now, Opera GX has been an extraordinary partner. I don't think they'd actually drop us for it, but they would have every reason to, because they wouldn't be able to get what they were paying for with our esports org and our watch parties anymore, because Twitch isn't allowing it in its current state, at least not as it stands from their first pass of this policy. It's just so fucked up. Now, it's not just, you know, our esports org or, you know, top streamers or anything like that. It's any streamer that would pursue sponsorships, which is a lot of them. You know, big and small streamers, all of them alike, do rely on sponsorships. And this hits everybody equally. It fucks everyone in the face all the same. It is an extremely greedy and corrupt, degenerate decision from Twitch. It is fucking disgusting. It's definitely worth mentioning that I have seen some arguments being made where Twitch might follow YouTube's example here and won't enforce it strictly, like they might just reserve this policy for bad actors only. And I guess that is entirely possible, but there's just no way of knowing. We just have to wait and see how it all plays out. But there's very clear ways this could be implemented that hurts every single person who uses the platform. And personally, I feel the reason why they're even making this policy update in the first place isn't necessarily to follow suit with YouTube or something as like a, you know, a fallback protocol in case there's bad actors misusing branded content somewhere. I feel the reason they're doing it is to try and push all their streamers to do everything through Twitch. You know, do all of their sponsorships through their sponsorship programs, that way they can get a cut of everything. That's how I interpret all this, that's how I feel the motivation behind it was. Is misguided, it's mismanaged, it's completely lost, it's geriatric, it's run by octogenarians, it's out of touch, and it is desperate. It is desperately trying to get its grubby little fingers, just plant these little piggies in each pie that happens on their platform, and that comes right out of the streamer's income. We've already seen them do that with the sub revenue, where they're dropping everyone to 50-50 sub revenue forever, non-negotiable, and now they're doing it for sponsorships because on Twitch, all streamers, a lot of them are doing sponsorships, and when they do, Twitch sees nothing from it. They don't get any portion of sponsorships done by streamers on their platform, and that makes them furious. They got steam coming out of their ears. So this is their attempt to try and force streamers to comply with Twitch's ad incentive program or their branded content program, such as like the Twitch Bounty Board. The Twitch Bounty Board works kind of like a sponsorship where companies have approached Twitch to do like sponsored game deals, and streamers can go onto their bounty board, click and see what's there, and then choose to take a deal where they're getting paid X amount of dollars for X amount of hours. And if they do that, Twitch gets a large portion of that income. To me, it just seems like the direction Twitch is going is do everything through us or else. It's only been 2 months since they made this announcement where they're testing new experiences to connect streamers and brands through their sponsored streaming network that they're creating. So it just seems like since Twitch offers this program, it seems like this policy change was supposed to scare streamers away from partnering with brands outside of Twitch's ecosystem here, because Twitch doesn't make any money if you get a brand deal outside of this program, whereas if you use Twitch here for their sponsored streams, Twitch makes money from it. Twitch is really trying to monopolize streamers' income, and this is something MrBeast just mentioned on Twitter as well. Twitch just wants to make sure that if any money is generated on their platform, they get a piece of that pie. They want that cake. They're gluttonous. And they're willing to sink as low as humanly possible to
We going in
get
this bad boy, or?
It's sickening.
Oh no, that's the
This
arena,
doesn't just
yeah.
affect individual streamers. Like I mentioned, it affects anyone that wants to do events on their platform as well. So let's do another example. Smash tournaments. Smash tournaments rely entirely on sponsorship revenue, like a Papa John's ad or something like that. All of it. All of their money comes from sponsorships, which means banner ads, large screen built-in ads during broadcasts, and even just full commercials during their broadcasts during intermissions. All of those things are no longer allowed if this policy goes through as written. That ruins every single gaming event that happens on Twitch right now, and generally just every single event ever. So like a music festival. Music festival is another great example. Music festivals rely heavily on sponsors too. If you watch a music festival that sometimes get broadcast on Twitch, you'll notice they have their own built-in ads as well that they'll play sometimes, depending on which one you're watching. That's no longer allowed either. So should this policy be pushed through the gates of fucking Mordor here and make it to the platform, every single event organizer is going to leave Twitch because they legitimately will not be able to run on Twitch anymore if they can't play ads from their sponsors. And sponsors aren't going to give money to people or events if they can't have their brand be showcased, like with a banner ad or a normal commercial. If they can't get anything out of it, why the fuck would any of these brands sponsor anything on the platform? It's not going to happen. So all of the event organizers are probably going to go to places like Kick or YouTube, and I imagine most of the streamers will be going to other platforms as well, at least part-time. They won't fully invest in Twitch anymore because it's not safe or reliable to do so. Again, Twitch themselves have said, like, most streamers are getting most of their money through sponsorships, and now Twitch is hitting sponsorships. Like, they're reducing their ability to make money through sponsorships, like directly impacting them, even after recognizing how important that is to the ecosystem. So most streamers, there will be a mass exodus, I imagine. A lot of streamers have already said that they're going to do that on Twitter in response to this. So streamers are going to go to other platforms so that way they can continue to have these sponsorship opportunities. Like, Twitch is really on the deathbed here. This policy change is the end of the platform if it goes through. Now, I've said this, I've been very open about it. When my Twitch contract ends, and I am doing my best to try and end it early, when it ends, I will be going to other platforms to stream, just to test them all out. I'll still be streaming on Twitch occasionally, but like we can't even do our watch parties there anymore, which is a big thing that I love to do. So I would like to try streaming on YouTube, for example, which is why I turned on memberships on YouTube here, just in case. So
Just in case.
It's one of those things where this is something that will destroy the platform. And Twitch must have recognized that because they did put out a follow-up statement about an hour ago here. And I think it's trash. I think it is a terrible response. Today's branded content policy update was overly broad. This created confusion and frustration, and we apologize for that. We do not intend to limit streamers' ability to enter into direct relationships with sponsors, and we understand that this is an important part of how streamers earn revenue. We wanted to clarify our existing ads policy that was intended to prohibit third-party and networks from selling burned-in video and display ads on Twitch, which is consistent with other services. We missed the mark with the policy language and will rewrite the guidelines to be clearer. Thank you for sharing your concerns, and we appreciate the feedback. We'll notify the community once we've updated the language. What a load of horseradish. This is some sour fucking mustard here. Basically just saying, we're sorry you misunderstood us. We must use too many big words for your simpleton minds, and it led to too much confusion, so we're sorry for that. We'll make sure to dumb it down into layman's terms going forward. when that's just not the case. It's not like you put out a broad statement that had a lot of misinterpretation or misconstruing of the information. You laid out pictures. Like, you literally made it as simple and specific as possible, down to exact percentages of how much it could take up on screen. 3%. That's not broad. Like, you specifically laid it all out with fucking pictures. Like, I don't know why they're trying to play this angle that it was just too broad and confusing and people misunderstood it. You made it clear what your intention was. I don't think there was any misunderstanding here. This is just a really sad attempt to try and save face, like, oh, no, we didn't mean what you guys are saying. No, we meant something totally different. Brother, you laid out a picture book of the new policy changes. Like, it doesn't get more clear than that. Now, again, this is just very obvious backpedaling here, but at least just own it. Just be like, hey, guys, look, we fucked up. We're lost. We don't know what we're doing at Twitch, guys. Look, everything's on fire over here. Employees are getting let go left and right. Our CEO's 96 years old. He's a fucking fossil. Like, we just don't know what's going on. You know, we can't steer the ship correctly, so we fucked up with this idea. We're just desperately trying to get a couple more doubloons out of the platform and don't know how. Like, at least that would have been honest. As opposed to going down this path where it's like, sorry, it was confusing and you guys didn't understand us. And then the ultimate cherry on top of the shit cake is they still, in their response, don't explain what they're doing. They're still not explaining what the new policy is doing. They're just saying, okay, we'll rewrite it. Okay, but so what did we get wrong? What did we misunderstand then? The only thing they add even a little bit of clarity to is that it's supposed to target third-party ad networks. Like, I suppose there's some companies that have programs that will pump branded content onto some streams, and it kind of competes with Twitch's own built-in display ads. It's something I've never heard of and had to do some serious digging to find, because it's not exactly a prevalent issue on the platform from everything I'm reading, but there are a couple of companies that will pump their own ads onto streamers' streams, like burn in ads onto their streams, and when those pop up during a stream, that makes money for that third-party company, not Twitch, and sometimes the streamer gets a kickback from that as well, but it's not like a true sponsorship partnership deal. It's like a ad network having their own, basically having their own display ads on Twitch without it being Twitch display ads, if that makes any sense. It's very niche. Like, if that truly was what they were trying to target, this is a very overblown response and exaggerated reaction to it. They went nuclear on it with this whole song and dance they've made out of it. It's very clear Twitch wants to facilitate every sponsorship deal through their platform so they get a cut of it. They've announced like the ad incentive program, as well as they even have their own new branded content program to get sponsorships through them, and they get a portion of all of that. So they want to make sure that streamers are kind of coerced into using those programs, so that way Twitch can get more money out of them, as opposed to having their own agents, their own managers, and their own connections to these brands to work directly with them, where Twitch doesn't see any money from those sponsorships. It's very clear why they want to do this. It's just a fucked up thing to do, and it ruins the whole platform by trying to implement this policy, because no one's going to stay there. There's competition. Twitch isn't the only platform for streaming. You can go elsewhere, and many streamers will, and are, actively. Even with a full walk back here, and they, like, completely just eat shit publicly and say, like, look, we're not going down this path anymore. Everything's going to stay the same. You can still do sponsorships, no problem. Even if they do that, the trust is gone. Most streamers are still going to look elsewhere because Twitch has shown their hand. They've shown their whole ass here. Twitch is more than comfortable not only taking money away from streamers' sub-revenue, but just taking money away from streamers in general across the board, even on things they have no part in, which is sponsorships. Like, if a creator gets their own sponsorship, they should have full reign, full rights to do whatever they want with it when streaming. Twitch shouldn't be getting a cut of sponsorship deals that you yourself are getting, or your manager or team or whatever is getting. That is outrageous. That is such a fucking overreach, and it's disgusting.
Lame.
The greed has single-handedly destroyed Twitch. I don't know how it bounces back. Like, the reputation is beyond ruined. And like I mentioned, even if a full walk back on everything here takes place, I still see a ton of streamers streaming elsewhere. Maybe not full-time, but they'll dip their toes into plenty of other platforms just to try them out, because it's not safe to commit full.
I think someone, like, that's like a
There's
major
no reason
diss.
to be exclusive on Twitch anymore. That's just not something most people will want to do going forward, I bet. So yeah, I just want to talk about this a little bit. That's it. So yeah.
just want to talk about that. Yep, see ya. Which way? I think this is the way up, yeah. Was there someone in a cell, that one of you guys needed? Now are we going? Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. get that off my healer. Shit. A bit too soon for that. we have a pet? I'm gonna pull back. Oh yeah, that guy. Oops. Oh, like that. Listen to some Watch Mojo in the background.
God, okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 best TV episodes of all time.
So, as far as high stakes go, bullet to the head, it ain't that.
For this list, we're looking at the most spectacular episodes of scripted television ever made. Naturally, there will be loads of spoilers ahead, so beware. Is there a TV episode you think is the creme de la creme? Serve up your favorites in the comments. Number 20, the one where everybody finds out, Friends. As one of the most beloved sitcoms out there, Friends has a lot of spectacular episodes. For instance, the one with the embryos where most of the gang has a trivia contest is fantastic.
Althea! Althea! What are you doing? I took a shot. You're shooting with Althea? Althea is correct. By shooting!
But our pick goes to this outrageously funny episode. In the one where everybody finds out, Chandler and Monica's relationship is at last made fully public, with the final remaining friends finding out about it. This leads to some obscenely hilarious and iconic scenes.
Chandler and Monica! Chandler and Monica! Oh my god! Chandler and Monica! Oh my god!
The various ways in which Chandler and Monica and the other friends, sans Ross, mess with each other are especially unbeatable. And there's even some patented heartwarming moments too.
I can't have sex with you.
And why not?
Because I'm in love with Monica.
You're what?
It's Friends firing on all cylinders. Number 19, Connor's Wedding, Succession. This episode may have aired relatively recently, but it has already made waves as one of the most acclaimed ever. While the eponymous wedding does indeed take place, the major focus is not on the start of a new life together, but the ending of the Roy patriarchs.
You're a good man. You're a good dad. You're a very, very good dad. You did a good job.
Indeed. What's been called the, quote, promise of the show's title comes to fruition as Logan Roy dies. The Roys are arguably all terrible people in their own ways, but even the greedy aren't immune to grief, as they each contend with Logan's passing in heartbreaking and realistic ways.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you.
The incredible performances and subject matter at hand are sure to only increase the amount of praise this episode receives as time goes on.
This nation has lost a passionate champion and an American titan, and we lost a beloved father.
Number 18, Who Goes There? True Detective. True Detective in general has raised the bar for TV, but this episode is something special.
What are you talking about, man? Reggie? Put her out there with them antlers on.
You have Reggie do it?
What are you talking about, Reggie? The dude did this. Reggie Ledoux.
Detectives Russ Cole and Marty Hart's investigations and personal lives reach a new level of intensity. Marty's marriage falls apart after his infidelity is uncovered.
How does it feel? I told you can't treat you.
Listen, I just need to know exactly what you told her.
But let's not kid ourselves. The highlight here is the episode's finale.
And we can talk about doing business. Where?
After Cole goes undercover in a gang and participates in a raid, he's forced to capture one of its members and flee once violence erupts. This is executed in a roughly 6-minute long take that's one of the most thrilling sequences in TV, period. Number 17, The Inner Light, Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Sir, I'm detecting a low-level nucleonic beam coming from the probe. Shields up. Standby phasers.
The Star Trek franchise has delivered some of TV's best science fiction. If we have to pick just one episode, though, we'll go with The Inner Light. Captain Jean-Luc Picard loses consciousness after the Enterprise finds an alien probe. In his mind, he experiences the existence of Cayman, a man from the world the probe came from. Picard/Cayman fosters a romantic relationship, has children, and ages as the world's star dies, killing the planet around him. The probe itself is a memory, left behind so the inhabitants could be remembered.
We named this child for a dear friend who died a year ago. But now his memory will live on in his namesake.
Patrick Stewart's performance is spectacular as always, demonstrating how Picard is transformed. And we are too. The memory of love is real, even if the people loved are long gone.
What? Alright, let's get ready for a big pull, guys.
Number
Big
16,
pull.
Everyone's Waiting, 6 Feet Under. One of the most satisfying series finales ever made. Everyone's Waiting delivers on what every show should. Closure.
But you, or any of my children, or Nathaniel even. But I do regret never giving myself any choice.
Most of the episode concerns the Fisher family figuring out what comes next for them in the wake of Nate's death, with moves, business ventures, and relationships. However, the closing montage is what gets us every time. We see highlights of the rest of the characters' lifetimes, witnessing how they grow old and die. Even as we're sobbing over their loss, seeing them live out their lives is tremendously fulfilling. It feels like the perfect ending,
Never watched
which
this.
is deeply valuable. Number 15, The Crossroads of Destiny, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Choosing just one episode from this acclaimed animated series is tough, but the season 2 finale is arguably the crux on which much of it hinges.
If you open your mind, you will see that all the elements are one, 4 parts of the same whole. Even metal is just a part of Earth.
The Crossroads of Destiny sees Zuko's sister Azula take over the Earth Kingdom capital of Ba Sing Se. After so much character development from Zuko, his siding with Azula and betraying Uncle Iroh hits hard.
The kind of redemption she offers is not for you.
Still, maybe not as hard as Aang's literal death. Don't worry, he ultimately survives. This might just be one of the most dramatic episodes of the series.
Sometimes life is like this dark tunnel. You can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel, but if you just keep moving.
And while the ending may be a downer, the high stakes, impressive action, and timely humor represent a level of peak excellence for any show, animated or otherwise. Number 14, Stress Relief, The Office. Originally airing after the Super Bowl,
I remember this.
Stress Relief is
Stanley
The
has
Office
a heart
bringing
attack.
its A game.
Last week I gave a fire safety talk.
Oh, that's the cold open. Today smoking's gonna save.
We see why the group is in need of stress relief, with moments of pure distilled chaos, like the nightmarish yet hilarious fire drill or the unhinged CPR seminar.
Oh yeah.
And the Office tries to release some of the built-up tension by roasting their boss, Michael Scott, whose behavior is a frequent source of stress. However, The episode balances these moments of comedic confusion with more wholesome and dramatic ones, like Pam's parent split bringing her and Jim closer together. It's everything The Office does best, distilled into one extra-long 2-part episode.
You know, sometimes, to get perspective, I like to think about a spaceman on a star incredibly far away.
Number 13, The View from Halfway Down, BoJack Horseman. This tragicomic animated show always pushes boundaries with its storytelling, and it all comes together in the penultimate episode of the series, The View from Halfway Down. The eponymous BoJack finds himself at a soiree with many of the deceased characters from throughout the series.
Sacrifice in the service of something greater? Maybe, but just in and of itself? What's the good in that?
A lot. BoJack eventually understands that he too is dying, and the horseman must confront his own mortality and its inevitability. It's a dark, strange, surreal work that perfectly captures not only the reality of dream-style experiences, but also the tragedy and hope that life and death can inspire.
A song you taught me when I was small. Don't stop dancing.
In other words, it's a masterpiece.
So what do I do now?
BoJack, doesn't matter.
Well, if it doesn't matter, can I stay on the phone with you at least?
Number 12, Mizumono, Hannibal. There are a lot of brutal, surprising TV episodes out there, and Mizumono is one of the most shocking.
When the moment comes. When the moment comes. When you do what needs to be done.
Things tighten around Hannibal Lecter, and Will Graham works to win his trust. However, the wily cannibal psychiatrist not only discovers Will's deception, he also seemingly kills most of the main cast in the final confrontation.
The most beautiful quality of a true friendship is to understand and be understood.
But the episode is more than just its twists and turns. The dialogue is fantastic, the acting is superb, and the cinematography and direction are some of the best in all of TV. Like the Japanese dessert course it's named for, Mizumono is tremendously satisfying, even if it's way more traumatic.
Fate and circumstance have returned us to this moment.
Number 11, The Body, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Buffy had some incredible episodes, and it was tempting to choose Hush, which largely forces the characters to go non-verbal. But The Body is too good to pass up. Many of the best TV episodes deal with death, but few address it in as viscerally real a way as this. Buffy discovers her mother Joyce has passed suddenly from an aneurysm.
Mom? Mom?
She, her sister, and her friends all struggle to grapple with what's occurred. The performances are heart-rendingly authentic, and so much of the dialogue touches on the human inability to comprehend death. The direction and sound design are phenomenal too, emphasizing certain noises, while music is absent. When someone you love is gone, the world feels normal. The Body represents that with gut-wrenching honesty.
But I don't understand. I don't understand how this all happens.
Number 10, The Contest, Seinfeld. When it first debuted, Seinfeld was unlike any sitcom on the air. Whereas most network sitcoms focused on a workplace or home life, Larry David's Laugh Riot adamantly rejected such focus.
No, I'm really serious. I think that's a good idea.
Just talking? Well, what's the show about?
It's about nothing.
No story?
No, forget the story.
Though the classic show about nothing concept, commonly referred to, is kind of a misnomer, it was never better than when it was pushing taboos. And that is exactly what this episode did.
So you're still master of your domain?
Yes. Yes, I am. Master of my domain.
The contest saw the gang competing with one another to see who could avoid pleasuring themselves the longest. As you can imagine, this led to some unbearable tension for all involved, and gave viewers something they'd never seen on television before. A conversation about being master of your domain.
Who walks around the house like that?
Maybe she's a nudist. You know those nudist colony people.
The biggest laugh? Local weirdo Cosmo Kramer's near instant failure.
I'm out.
Number 9, The Suitcase, Mad Men.
Everything to you is an opportunity. And you should be thanking me every morning when you wake up, along with Jesus, for giving you another day.
Matthew Weiner's Mad Men offered a brutally honest look at the sexism, racism, political tension, and male machismo that characterized the business world in the 60s, a decade that's far too easy to romanticize. The show was arguably never better, however, than when it was diving deep into character analysis as it does with Don Draper and ambitious secretary Peggy Olson in this episode.
I mean, I know what I'm supposed to want, but it just never feels right. Or as important as anything in that office.
The suitcase spends most of its runtime with the two sharing drinks, dinner, and unusually honest conversation. And it all comes to a head in one of Don's few truly genuine moments. It's frequently cited as being among the best episodes of the entire series, and considering the overall high quality of the show, that is saying a whole lot. Number 8, Lucy does a TV commercial. I love Lucy. In the golden age of television, Lucille Ball's family comedy reigns supreme. Across 6 seasons, the talented actor and comedian created too many timeless moments to count. But
that's
Lucy
like really
Does
old.
a TV commercial is without a doubt the show's greatest gift to comedy.
Oh, Ricky, please, just let me do the commercial.
Nothing doing.
Why not?
Look, honey, this is too big a chance for me. I need someone with a lot of experience.
Well, I've had experience.
In the episode, Lucy does an ad for a new health tonic with the unpronounceable name Vitamita Vegemin, which is 23%
I wonder why these guys are all,
Any good? Well, it ought to be. It's got everything in it. Meat, vegetables, minerals, vitamins. Wonder where she is. Alcohol, 23%.
Take after take sees Lucy beginning to feel the effects of the product, and she's soon struggling with the already ridiculously unpronounceable name.
So why don't you join the thousands of happy, peppy people and get a great big bottle of,
Physical comedy, over-the-top facial expressions, and that impossibly chipper delivery of her lines, this is Lucille Ball firing on all cylinders. Over 50 years later, the episode remains as funny and quotable as ever. Number 7, The Constant, Lost. The Constant focuses on Desmond Hume, whose consciousness begins traveling back and forth between 1996 and 2004.
On your sudden feet! Move, move, move!
Though revisiting his past brings insight, it could also prove fatal. So it's a race to steady his place in the world by finding the titular Constant, someone he knew in both time periods.
I need you to tell me that you know about Eloise.
Hey, hey, hey! He's very easy.
Apparently, the writers took twice as long as usual to develop the script for this episode, and it shows. This is an extremely tightly constructed 43 minutes of television. But not only is it well crafted, it also manages to pack an emotional punch.
I love you.
I love you too.
I don't know where I am, but
What the hell is this?
I promise.
No matter what.
I'll come back to you.
I won't give up.
I promise.
Yeah? Okay. Sure. Let's go.
Strawberry coffee.
Okay. Oh shit. And then do I pull him now? Yeah. Point. Hell yeah. I need those. Don't you dare, Vexen. Don't do it. So we just drop down here. We doing EMP? Or was their bosses here you guys needed? Hell yeah, finally. Okay, I'm going down. Whoops. Alright, we're up to date, kinda. So it would be like down this way. Yup. We can go a little bit further, I think. Oh yeah, like up here. How goes this group? They seem competent. I mean, yeah, we haven't had any problems. Not really. They're pretty all good. I mean, the mage AoE's a lot, but I mean, that's fine. Alright, let's go. I think I got it. Spam. I got it. Oh, shit. Oh, shit, Vexen. Okay. We'll wait for the healer's mana.
not considered conjoined because the underdeveloped twin is dependent on the body of the other. Like a parasite, Gabriel feeds off Emily.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 unexpected plot twists that redeemed bad movies.
Impossible! It can't be!
For this list, we'll be looking at the films that aren't the best, but save themselves from mediocrity with jaw-dropping twists. Since we'll be talking about the stories all the way through, here's your spoiler alert. Which movie do you think has a twist that boosts its quality? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, The Devil's Identity. Devil. Devil deserves points for an exciting premise. 5 strangers are trapped in an elevator. One by one, a person is killed by someone in the group while everyone tries to figure out the culprit.
He's probably trying to figure out which one of us is the murderer.
Although it's an interesting story setup, Devil becomes too similar to Saw. The film basically becomes about how gruesome the next death will be. These cheap thrills aren't particularly exhilarating until the climax. It turns out that an elderly woman who died early on is the true villain. Even more surprisingly, she's the actual devil. The antagonist deliberately trapped sinful people together to collect their souls.
You're not. You think you can make up for the choices you make?
You think you can be forgiven?
This flips Devil's story on its head, since each person deserves to be held responsible for their crimes. Number 19, The Real Villain, The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. This fantasy adventure is about protagonist Clara bringing peace to a magical land. She teams with the Sugar Plum Fairy while grieving her mother's death, the former queen of the realms.
Mother Ginger's the one who began this war. I hope you'll be the one to finish it.
The film's good versus bad outline lacks originality, feeling like a rehash of superhero movies. Its twist does signify deeper themes relating to Clara's loss, as Sugar Plum's betrayal comes to light. Mother Ginger, the supposed villain, is revealed to be falsely accused. Perceiving the death of Clara's mother as abandonment, Sugar Plum plans to become queen in her place.
Your mother abandoned us. And then? She just expects us to carry on and play nice. Well, I don't want to play nice!
Meanwhile, Clara accepts losing her mother, empowering herself to defeat the villain. This turn of events contrasts the two characters, adding the required emotional depth that's lacking for most of the story. Number 18, The Real Brahms. The Boy.
Miss Evans, allow me to introduce you.
Oh my god. Get off my healer. Can we all LOS?
This is our son.
American nanny Greta is given the strange job of looking after a porcelain doll named Brahms. This begins a drawn-out plot about odd events surrounding the doll, which convinces Greta that it's possessed by the spirit of her employer's deceased child. Unfortunately, much of the boy's runtime is about jump scares that don't do much to move the plot forward. It's only at the end when the payoff for these shock value moments arrives. Brahms, the titular boy, isn't actually a boy. He's not even a ghost. Brahms has been alive this whole time, living within the house's walls to spy on Greta.
It's Brahms. Oh my god.
It can't be.
The movements of the doll were all orchestrated by Brahms himself, providing an impressive turn of events to an otherwise formulaic film. Number 17, The Truth Behind the Community. Don't Worry, Darling. In a seemingly idyllic 50s town called Victory, housewife Alice Chambers starts to notice things are off. She realizes her husband Jack and all the men are hiding a secret.
Do you even know what Frank is actually doing?
Classified. You're not even allowed to discuss our jobs with other departments. You know.
What if Margaret was right? What if this place is dangerous? What if—
Stop it!
Don't Worry, Darling suffers from an identity crisis, not fully committing to being a psychological thriller or a commentary on male fragility. After wasting some of its runtime on these themes, the final act of the movie turns things around. Alice comes to know that Victory isn't real. It's a simulated reality where she and the other women are trapped by the men.
Do you consent to the physical and medical requirements for entry to Victory?
Yes.
Are you aware that you are responsible for the physical upkeep of your chosen pilot?
This brings context to the odd behavior of most of the characters, as they knew the secret all along. The revelation also adds much-needed tension to Alice's bid for freedom. Number 16. Crash Landing. Life. Life is too similar to other alien-based films to feel original, featuring a story about a species that slowly takes out a space crew one by one. It has a rather generic plot line where the characters figure out a way to stop Calvin the alien.
Control. This is Station. Station for Control. The specimen's location is unknown. It is to be considered hostile and deadly. Our intent is to isolate and destroy it in compliance with protocol.
The ending makes it appear that Miranda North has escaped, while David Jordan has sacrificed himself to prevent Calvin from reaching Earth.
You fired into deep space. With Calvin. Yes. Meanwhile, you get into boat B. You press the button. There's no complications. It takes you back home. No, we lost Calvin together. Miranda. It doesn't make any sense.
The film's final moments are where this seemingly predictable story takes a huge turn, as it was Miranda's pod that was knocked off course while David has reached Earth with Calvin.
Oh.
This changes life's direction completely, leaving us stunned with the chilling realization that humanity might be doomed. Number 15. Morty's real identity. Click.
With the box. Does it come with directions?
Not necessary. Just point. Click. Eventually, it will program itself.
Perpetually frustrated, Michael Newman is offered a time-skipping remote by a mysterious man named Morty. While Michael initially has fun with it, his life ultimately spirals out of control. Click has some emotionally stirring moments, but the slapstick comedy can become annoying to watch. The premise also overstays its welcome after several time skips. But the reveal of Morty's true nature saves the movie. With decades skipped beyond salvation, Michael finds out that Morty is the angel of death.
Angel, Michael.
An angel? I thought an angel was supposed to protect people.
The angel of death.
The remote was a way for Michael to appreciate his life, giving him an extremely long lesson to learn. Unlike stereotypical portrayals of the angel of death, Morty isn't an evil entity, but someone who shows Michael that he's been making the wrong decisions in life. Number 14. Jamie's father. Dead silence. Jamie Ashen tries to figure out a way to end his family's curse as the ghost of ventriloquist Mary Shaw looks to end his bloodline.
All these years you've resented me for sending you away, but I did it to distance you from this curse.
Taking a slow build toward its conclusion, Dead Silence spends a lot of its runtime showing the protagonist lost and confused. Jamie's story is riddled with many bait-and-switch moments until he thinks he's beaten Mary by destroying her last doll. However, the final moments have Jamie realize that he was led astray. His father turns out to be a doll controlled by his wife, who is possessed by Mary. With no place to run, a horrified Jamie learns this is how his demise was planned the whole time.
I want Totem.
Although the villain wins, the manner of her victory does deserve praise. Number 13. Tim's Endgame. 7 Pounds. 7 Pounds has earnest intent with its story about the power of kindness.
Because you are a good man.
Really?
Even when you don't know that people are watching.
But it gets very melodramatic as the film goes on, making it a bit of a drag to watch. It follows Ben Thomas, who seeks to help supposed strangers. Keeping up with the abundance of characters is difficult until the ending ties everything together. We learn Ben is actually Tim Thomas, who was responsible for causing multiple deaths in an accident. Tim is giving his organs away to people in need to redeem himself, culminating in his own demise to save 7 lives.
I got lung cancer and I needed a double lobe transplant. Tim could only give me one, of course. I must have planted a seed.
His sacrifice justifies every interaction he's had in the film, carving out Tim's role as a tragic hero and slapping viewers right in the feels. Number 12, the truth about the Devereaux, the skeleton key.
Look, you said the house had a history, right? Voodoo is pretty harmless.
Harmless how?
Well, it's psychological, like a lot of that stuff. Can't hurt you if you don't believe it.
This supernatural horror contains many scenes with characters talking about voodoo. All this exposition dulls the skeleton key's quality since so much talking leaves little room for scares. Kate Hudson's character, Caroline, becomes a caretaker of an elderly couple, the Devereaux. The initially skeptical protagonist eventually believes the old people are hoodoo practitioners and tries to escape. But it turns out that all of Caroline's research was manipulated to make her believe in hoodoo and prepared for possession. The Devereaux are century-old body snatchers who lure young people to their plantation. Caroline and estate lawyer Luke are the latest in a long line of victims. All the talk of hoodoo in the film were discreet hints for viewers to prepare for this grand twist.
I think it fits you beautifully. It's better than Violet. Or Grace, even. We'll get used to it. We always do.
Number 11, the truth about Gabriel. Malignant. Director James Wan frequently uses slow burn stories with a twist. Malignant follows this template as well. It begins when mistreated Madison Mitchell's violent husband is killed.
You're in a hospital. Where's Derek? Do you remember what happened? Someone broke into your house. You were attacked, and
Madison learns that her childhood imaginary friend Gabriel is behind the deaths of people connected to her. Although the film repeats this cycle of violence more than necessary, the twist of Gabriel's sudden reappearance is worth the wait. We learn that Gabriel is Madison's parasitic twin brother, who can control her body. After being extracted from her at childbirth, Gabriel's consciousness has remained in her mind.
One twin is dominant while the other is underdeveloped. It's not considered conjoined because the underdeveloped twin is dependent on the body of the other. Like a parasite, Gabriel feeds off Emily.
The hunt for the killer went around in circles because Madison was indirectly the killer all along. This clever twist alters the context of the film's events and sets up its horror-filled ending. Number 10, David's Dream, Vanilla Sky. Vanilla Sky opens with David Ames providing his account of the events that ruined his life. An accident leaves David's face disfigured, alienating him from his lover Sophia.
Let's get it all out. Say everything now. Let's just
David.
Say everything now. Now.
I'll tell you in another life when we are both cats.
Incoherent storytelling techniques and constant tonal changes in the narrative make it confusing to keep up with Vanilla Sky. But the climax answers why David's life is a blur. He's been in cryogenic sleep for over a century, waiting for technology to develop enough to repair his disfigurement. All the mayhem shortly after his accident was a glitch in his lucid dream, causing his feelings of guilt and sadness to catch up to him.
Your subconscious did create problems. Your dream turned into a nightmare, and this gentleman was able to uncover the fabric of our work. The glitch has been corrected.
The ambiguity of David's fate is a clever way to leave viewers contemplating what comes next. Number 9, The Cat, Fallen. This supernatural horror movie's plot has Detective Hobbs and Jonesy track the demon Azazel, who possesses people hoping to cause global calamity.
Just tell me what they want.
The demons? They want the fall of civilization, the fall of Babylon, as they put it.
The premise quickly takes a downturn since Azazel's body hopping becomes played out and nothing else really happens. Fallen also comes across as too convoluted for a horror movie, but this makes way for an ingeniously simple twist no one would see coming. Before letting Azazel take over his body, Hobbs poisons himself while at a secluded cabin to ensure the demon is stranded forever.
You don't smoke anymore.
However, Azazel breaks the fourth wall to mock us for thinking the good guy would win, as he possesses a cat to head back to civilization.
Oh. You forgot something, didn't you? At the beginning, I said I was going to tell you about the time I almost died.
This intellectual twist proves the devil does come in many forms. Number 8, Remy's True Reality, Repo Men. This movie's premise is about repo men in the future whose job is to repossess artificially enhanced organs.
My job is simple. You can't pay for your car. The bank takes it back. You can't pay for your house. The bank takes it back. You can't pay for your liver. Well, that's where I come in.
The main character, Remy's attempt to escape the repossession of his heart eventually spirals into a predictable chase story. The story seems to reach its cliché happy ending when a glitch brings everything back to reality. It's revealed that Remy's injury at one point in the film had caused severe brain damage, and all that he sees is part of a simulation.
Let's go, buddy.
Remy and his love interest are actually barely alive, meaning the happy ending only exists in Remy's mind. It subverts usual action movie stereotypes in favor of a dark and realistic conclusion that is bittersweet yet thought-provoking at the same time.
Sweet dreams, buddy.
Number 7, Ender's Simulations, Ender's Game. Ender's Game follows the titular character's training to prevent an alien invasion. He partakes in simulations of the alien race known as Formix, gaining victory through his strategically brilliant mind.
Ender, watch your right flank. We need backup for Bernard. I see it. Bernard, you flagged them.
Copy that. Using 10 through 18.
Alive, peel right. King, compensate for the full of planet G8 and go full throttle.
However, the film devotes a lot of time to the gaming aspect, which prevents the supporting characters from having much depth. It's only by the ending that the importance of the many simulations becomes apparent. Ender finds out that these were all happening in real time, and he's responsible for wiping out most of the Formic race. It's a solid twist that turns the protagonist into a villain without anyone realizing it.
I will bear the shame of this genocide forever.
No. You will be remembered as a hero.
I will be remembered as a killer!
The reveal of the Formic's true peaceful nature makes Ender's misunderstood actions all the more tragic. Number 6, Betrayal, Smokin' Aces. FBI agents Messner and Carruthers are tasked to keep the informant Aces alive from mob boss Barazza's bounty.
Don't form a witness against the mob. It's been as crucial or as important as Buddy. Aces, Israel is not only essential to our case, he is our case.
Unfortunately, the influx of many characters turns this into a highly convoluted plot that runs around in circles until the climax presents the big twist. The FBI is revealed to be working with the mob, as Barazza himself is an informant, and Ace's father, whom the FBI hand over as part of their deal.
The Bureau betrayed us.
Wake up.
You betrayed us, Deputy
Stop
Director
pointing your-
Locke. You betrayed us the way you betrayed them, you
Shit.
f***ing asshole.
Disgusted that the FBI's own corrupt activities caused so many deaths, Messner pulls the plugs on both Aces and Barazza to destroy everyone's plans. Around with the plot so much, Smokin' Ace's morally appropriate ending presents a great contrast to all the prior over-the-top violence. Number 5, Everything Comes Full Circle, Final Destination 5. The Final Destination movies have never been critical darlings, mainly because the plot lines lack many surprises.
We all gotta get off. What are you talking about? The bridge is gonna collapse. What? We're all gonna die. What the hell is going on? We're all gonna die if we don't get off this bridge now!
Final Destination 5 follows the same pattern, featuring yet another group's attempts to escape death, but meeting their ends in gruesome ways. The main plot ends as expected, with the survivors planning to leave on a plane to celebrate their supposed victory over death.
Are you kidding? You're gonna make me sit in the middle seat? How much was your son?
However, it's then that the flight is confirmed to be the one shown in the first movie, meaning that everything that's happened so far has been set up by death to lead to this moment.
I didn't know that.
What was that all about? A kid had a panic attack and wanted off the plane. Said he had some kind of vision. No.
Oh my god.
As the plane crashes, the story comes full circle for the franchise, making it symbolic of the circle of life and death. Number 4, Judgment Day, Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
No bombs fell. The computer didn't take control. We stopped Judgment Day.
By this point, it was obvious that the series would copy the format of the previous 2 movies. Terminator 3 does indeed follow this style, with the titular character now protecting an adult John Connor from another advanced Terminator sent by Skynet.
You here to kill me?
Everyone
you must live.
The story is on course for the usual sacrifice by the Terminator.
God
but
damn
the
it.
final moments take an original twist never seen before in the franchise. It turns out that Judgment Day could never be prevented,
you can't just trust
as
everyone
was
to,
always
like,
believed, and
to,
that
like,
Skynet
read.
had already initiated nuclear bombs to begin a worldwide massacre.
John, what is he saying?
Judgment Day. The end of the world. It's today, 3 hours from now.
Terminator 3 baits the viewer into a false sense of security to leave fans speechless as the series' promise of a dystopian future finally comes to pass. Number 3, Esther's True Nature, Orphan. This psychological horror story centers around the adoption of a young child whose arrival sparks several incidents. Orphan is largely formulaic, with obvious signs of young Esther being an evil child.
Seeing an epic.
I thought you would enjoy teaching me. It must be frustrating for someone who loves music as much as you, to have a son who isn't interested and a daughter who can't even hear.
The build-up
That's a good
point
point.
toward a cliche turn for the worse from Esther, but the reveal of her true nature comes out of nowhere. As it turns out, Esther is an adult woman posing as a young girl, meaning her malicious activities were the premeditated actions of a murderer and not a disturbed child.
She only looks like a child. Before these were records, Lena Klammer was born in 1976. She's 33 years old.
The twist gives the thriller the eerie sense of horror it was going for. It also makes Orphan a highly rewatchable flick, as it's interesting to go back and find clues for this twist hidden all along.
Go to your room.
Honestly, we're past that now, aren't we?
Number 2, The Truth About Eli, The Book of Eli. The Book of Eli sees the titular character's attempt to preserve the last copy of the Bible
I just want to
while
see how it's
escaping a
dropped.
warlord who wants the book's knowledge.
That's just staying alive is an act of faith. Building this town is an even bigger act of faith, but they don't understand that. None of them. And I don't have the right words to help them, what the book does.
This dystopian movie has similarities with the critically acclaimed Mad Max series, but relies on the mystery of its protagonists so much that the action becomes a drag to watch. However, the closing moments show Eli's been hiding an even bigger secret, as the Bible is written in Braille, revealing that Eli was blind the whole time.
The first book of Moses, called Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1.
Having given no obvious clues, the twist places the protagonist's actions in a bigger context and signs off with an uplifting message. Eli's journey was always meant to be spiritual, which changes the previously bleak outlook of the film in an instant.
Doesn't have to make sense. It's faith. It's faith. It's the flower of light in the field of darkness. It's giving me the strength to carry on. You understand?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Secret Accomplice, Saw 3D. The seventh movie loses all the nuances and thoughtful commentary from previous entries. Instead, Saw 3D is a straight-up gore fest that relies completely on the traps. Flake's plot sees Mark Hoffman simply off everyone in his path and then take down Jigsaw's wife Jill out of revenge.
This person will go on killing until he's stopped. You know him. He definitely knows you.
Hello, brother. How's it going? Hello. How's it? It's going good.
However, Dr. Gordon, whose status was never clarified until this film's opening
a little
scene,
bit
shows up
distracted
to attack
here.
Hoffman before he can escape. It's
Come on,
revealed
hide.
that Gordon was Jigsaw's secret accomplice all along,
Justice.
meaning he had a hand in everything that happened
Or
in
Iron
the series.
Foe.
Hello, Dr. Gordon. You are perhaps my greatest asset.
This ties up all loose ends in one go, and at least gives this by-the-numbers movie the huge twist fans were looking for.
Iron Foe.
Did you enjoy
God,
this
I am
video?
doomed.
Check out these other clips from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
There we go. Aw. So, ooh, there's like a attack power kind of deal thing. I mean, that's a decent necklace. I could probably use that for DPS. Yeah, I could, yeah. I mean, it's pretty... Is it? Nah, I'll grid. I don't think I need that. Stam. Spirit. That's kind of like a good tanking ring. Huh. No, there's better necks, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. I don't think I... Nah. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad of a run. Not bad at all. Not bad, not bad. How long did that take me? Including the time to like get there. 2 hours. Not bad, not bad. Well, I don't think we're doing any more. What, the Nagel ring? It's whatever. Alright. I don't care about the brilliant shard, it's whatever. Well, I didn't... Oh, yeah, I got the shoulders, so I'm happy about that. I don't have to wear a stupid Huron shoulder all the time. We did it before Riley, Dragon Slayer falls off, so that's neat. Now we don't look like a dork that much. Got 2 shoulder pads. Alright. I don't call it a stream here. Wonder if I'll get copyright for having a Watch Mojo thing in the background. And it says